the world's largest mallet bag. This bag is huge, like you'd literally be knocking everyone out of the hallway. Or if you're immature like me, you could fit in an entire Focusrite 2i4 audio interface and a headphones case. When you wear it on your back, you literally look like an Uber Eats delivery driver. Like it's pretty much everything you could ask for in a mallet bag. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Studio. My name is Adam. And today we have a very special review on the show. It is none other than the world's largest mallet bag, the Liberty One Mallet King. Thank you so much to my studio VIPs, Zero Gravity Percussion, Robert Utomo, Will Flinner, Mallet Lab, Bradley Crowley, Ryan Carlisle, Greg Harris, Arthur Lipner, Scott Rader, Doms Dominic Chung, and Dean P. Newberger. Thank you so much for your continued support. And today's featured studio artist is Jeff Grafton. Thank you so much for joining the studio artist team. And if you'd like to become a studio VIP or a studio artist, you can go to patreon.com/AdamTan. Or you can click over here. Welcome back to the show once again. I hope you've been well. And yes, today's review is very exciting because we are looking at this thing. So a couple of weeks ago, the percussion retailer Steve Weiss Music sent me this mallet bag in the mail, and they didn't really tell me anything about it. They just gave me a letter which said, please let us know what you think of our new extra large self-standing backpack mallet bag, audition bag, backpack, laptop bag, accessory bag, luggage carry-on, known as the Mallet King. And they even sent it on a normal Steve Weiss Music invoice, so I thought I actually bought something by accident, but no! Thank you Steve Weiss Music for sending me this bag. I'm very excited to look at it because it is actually the world's largest mallet bag. That being said, I think this bag has been sent out to a few people already. I think Jason Ginter got one, Gene Kaczynski got one, so I think Steve Weiss is just sending this out to a whole bunch of people to try out. I think it's very brave for a company to give out their newest product to a whole bunch of people and get their real opinion on it. So that means today's video is not sponsored because I'm not getting paid anything to say nice things about this bag. In fact, I have a lot of things to say about this bag, which you might find very interesting. So mallet bags or stick bags have always come in usually about 3 different form factors. The first one is of course the traditional folding type stick bag where you put your mallets in and you fold the whole thing up and you zip it around. This is the most common mallet bag. It's the cheapest kind as well, but I'm not really a fan because it sandwiches your mallets in like this. The second type of stick bag is those backpack type stick bags, which is more or less just the folding type, but with some backpack straps stuck onto the back. And you get these a lot from brands like Marimba One, Vic Firth has one, Malletech has one. This type of bag, again, I also don't think is very practical because usually the backpack can only hold a few other things other than your mallets. Which brings us to the third kind of stick bag, which is becoming more and more popular now, which is the freestanding mallet bag. And a lot of you guys know my favorite stick bag is the Galaxy grip bag from Humes & Berg. I still use this stick bag every day. In fact, it's the one that I carry with me pretty much to every rehearsal performance where I just need to bring my mallets and nothing else. So I will usually carry this in one hand and a normal backpack in the other. But the Mallet King is a brand new form factor because it actually combines all 3 of these form factors. It's freestanding, it's a backpack, it's also a mallet case, like it's pretty much everything you could ask for in a mallet bag. The Mallet King comes in at $89.95 US, which sounds very expensive on paper, but in terms of the sector that it's targeting, which is the all-in-one backpack style bag, which can just do everything, pretty much all of the other bags are about the same price. For example, the Marimba One mallet bag, which is an all-in-one backpack, the Adam Smart Pack, which is more expensive than this one and is also an all-in-one backpack. It's definitely not a budget option, but it's certainly not the most expensive bag out there either. The dimensions of the bag are 20 inches high, 17 inches wide, and 12 inches deep, which is huge. And we will talk more about this size issue later on in this video, but it's huge. And as for the weight of this bag, it weighs 6.3 pounds or 2.8 kilos without anything inside it, which is actually quite heavy for something that's empty. But yes, you guys didn't come here for a sales pitch. I'm gonna go straight into what I like about this bag and what I don't like about this bag. So starting off with the things I like about this bag, the first thing is the storage. This bag is huge. It holds not only a lot of mallets, but also many other items, and the way it's organized is actually pretty good. Starting from the top of the bag, you have this shallow zip pocket on the front, which can be used to hold small items like maybe a metronome, or some business cards, or some stickers, small items like that, because it's not a huge pocket. There is of course an ID window, which is very, very important, and it's in this nice faux leather material, which I really like. On the top of the bag, you have the top handle, and then the zips, which open the main compartment. But before we get to the main compartment, if we go to the side of the bag, you will notice that there are two pockets on each side. There is a Velcro pocket on the top, which can be used to store slightly longer objects, like say an umbrella. I think you'd be hard pressed to fit a water bottle in there, but maybe an umbrella or some sticks that you need to pull out very quickly, or even a conductor's baton. And as for the zipper pocket, you have these little hooks which can be used for triangle beaters, claves maybe, small cylindrical objects. And there isn't much that you can fit inside this side pocket. So maybe you could slip in your phone if you wanted to put it somewhere quickly. So you have these two pockets on both sides of the bag. And then on the front of the bag, you have a very large traditional style accessories pouch. So inside the accessories pouch, you have a Velcro pocket, which can be used to store small items that you don't want to lose. You have a normal pocket, which is shallow, which can be used to store something like a power bank. And then you have a netted pocket, which can be used to store something really small, like pens, pencils, mini drumsticks. I'm not really sure why there are three pockets that are exactly the same size, but have three completely different ways of using them. That's a bit strange to me, but it works. And as for this entire pocket, you could actually fit in a mini tablet or a large book, or maybe even an audio interface. So it's very usable. And then we get to the main compartment, which is huge. So inside the main compartment, you have, of course, this massive cavernous space that has been divided with these Velcro dividers, which are very similar to the Galaxy Grip Bags dividers, but they feel a little bit nicer. It feels more like a camera bag. And yes, they are adjustable. So if you don't want to have 6 compartments, you could just have 2, you could have 1, you could have none. This compartment also has a notebook pouch at the back with a Velcro tab, which fits in a 15-inch MacBook Pro perfectly. Because the compartment is basically a box, that means you also have side pockets, so you could fit in even more mallets in these little tiny gaps in the side. And you also have a more stiff pocket towards the front, which can be used for things like a folder or sheet music or an iPad even. Or if you're immature like me, you could fit in an entire Focusrite 2i4 audio interface and a headphones case in this pouch to make it very, very tight and snug. This main compartment is actually one of the strongest selling points of this bag, and it definitely delivers. In addition to the main compartment, on the flap of the compartment, you actually have 4 more pockets, which you can use as quick release pockets. And what I mean by that is, if you want to have 4 pairs of mallets that you can quickly access without any sort of faffing around inside here, when you have the bag standing upright on stage, you can have your 4 mallets inside these quick pouches, which I think is a really nice touch. So yeah, if you're looking for the absolute maximum in storage space and organization, this bag has it. The second thing I like about this bag is the overall build quality. Yes, this bag is encased in a really nice nylon material, which I would say is scratch resistant, spill resistant. I wouldn't say it's waterproof, but it definitely would be resistant to a certain extent. I also really like the low-key appearance of the bag. I like that there isn't like a huge Liberty One logo like over here. And the third thing that I like about this bag is the fact that it is freestanding. Yes, freestanding bags are still my favorite type of mallet bag, because you can have them on stage or you can have them in the rehearsal room ready to go. You can just pull out your mallets and you can start playing. You also don't have to worry about mallets rubbing against each other too much, because there is enough breathing space, unless of course you pack this thing to the absolute brim, which, by the way, right now I've loaded this bag with 50 pairs of mallets, and there still is a bit of a gap between all of the mallets. So I think you could easily fit 60, depending on what kind of mallets you have. Obviously, if you have really big headed mallets, you might want to try not doing that. So yes, that's the things that I like about this bag. Now for the things that I don't like. So the first thing I don't like about this bag is the size and the weight. It is so big, and the fact that it's a backpack means that when you wear it on your back, you literally look like an Uber Eats delivery driver. And that's not a good thing if you want to use this bag as advertised. For example, using it as an audition bag, taking it to school, using it as a travel bag. Like, you'd literally be knocking everyone out of the hallway. And it is just So big. Cannot say that enough because people saw the picture online, and in the picture they've cleverly taken the photo from a very high angle so the bag doesn't look as big, but when you actually see in person just how big it is, it's massive. And as for the weight, well, the fact that it weighs 6.3 pounds with nothing inside it, can you imagine when you've loaded in your laptop, you've loaded in some accessories, and you have maybe 30 to 40 pairs of mallets in here? It is very, very heavy to carry this thing around. I'm not really sure why anyone would want to do that. Now, some people have actually said that this bag would be really good for travel, and some people have gone even as far as to say that this bag is carry-on approved.
And measures 20 inches by 17 inches.
NANI? Unfortunately, this is simply not true, and to prove it, well, firstly, the dimensions of this bag are 20 inches high, 17 inches wide, and 12 inches deep. Now take those numbers and go to the link in the description below, which is a link to a list of pretty much every airline in the world and their carry-on allowance. You will see that for most airlines, the maximum dimensions you can take on the plane are 20 inches high, around 15 inches wide, and 10 inches deep. So this bag is almost a full 2 inches too wide and too deep. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Adam, I could probably take this bag on the plane and nobody would check it. Like, nobody's gonna come up with a tape measure and measure this bag. Well, the problem is, even if you get past the people at the gate with your bag that is clearly over the dimensions, you have to deal with the final thing, which is the size of the overhead locker. And to prove this point, watch this. This is the suitcase that I use most for travel. It's called the Antler Juno. It has 4 wheels, it has a handle, it's a hard case, and I know for a fact that this suitcase definitely fits in small aircraft. The RJ700, Boeing 737, Airbus A320, all of these little single aisle jets with tiny overhead lockers, this bag fits in fine. I also have this Kensington suitcase, the Kensington Secure Lock. As you can see, this suitcase is a little bit deeper and a little bit larger than my Antler Juno, and as a result, when I take it on smaller planes like the CRJ700, Boeing 737, Airbus A320, this bag will sometimes struggle because it needs half of an overhead locker to itself. And then we have the Mallet King, which is clearly larger than both my Antler and my Kensington, and there is no way, verifiably, that this bag will fit in an overhead locker, unless you're flying like business class, first class, or a private jet. As demonstrated, the size and weight of this bag make it very difficult to use as an everyday bag and as a travel bag. The second thing I don't like about this bag is the quality of the hardware. When I'm talking about hardware, I'm talking about things like the zippers and the handles. And I have to say, the zips, which are fundamentally one of the most important things when it comes to bags because it's how you get in and out of the bag, they are not good. Zips themselves, the teeth of the zips are really small, and as a result, for a bag that is so big, and especially when it's fully loaded, it becomes very difficult to zip the bag up. The zippers themselves are also very, very small. Yes, you can lock them because they have a hole, but anybody could cut through these zips because they are just so thin. It just feels very stiff and uncomfortable, and definitely not something you want to see on a stick bag that's almost $100. For reference, the zips that are on my Galaxy grip bag are very big, so it's very easy to move these back and forth, whereas this, yeah, I don't know. I also am not a fan of the top handle of this bag, which is basically just a piece of nylon that's been wrapped around itself. There's no foam padding of any sort, and you'll be using this top handle a lot because you're not going to want to use these. The 2 handles on my Galaxy grip bag, yes, they are stitched as well, but at least there is a neoprene coating that makes them less abrasive to hold. So when you're pulling it, you don't feel like you have to peel off half of your skin to use it. But that brings me to the third thing that I don't like about this bag, which is the fact that it's a backpack. Why? It doesn't really make sense for this bag to be a backpack, no matter how you look at it. It's way too large to be practical. It's very uncomfortable to carry for long periods of time. I know it takes a little bit more engineering, but why couldn't they just get rid of the backpack straps, put on 2 wheels at the bottom, and have a telescopic handle that pulls out the top? Like, here is a $30 mega cart, which you can get from like Walmart or like your nearest hardware shop, and it's basically just one of those little metal trolleys, which I will try and fold out now. All of the things I mentioned about it being difficult to take on public transport, difficult to take anywhere, would be so much easier because you can just wheel it. Look at that. So maybe if you buy this bag, you might want to get a mega cart as well. And I think in any situation where I will use this bag, I think I will literally attach a trolley to it. So now for my final thoughts about this bag, and I think you can already tell what I think about it. It's a really cool idea to have a really big mallet bag that can hold all your stuff, but how big is too big? I don't know anybody who needs to carry 50 or 60 pairs of mallets with them on a daily basis with all of their things like their laptop and all of their music. I think the only two situations I can think of that this bag would be useful would be for an orchestral artist who needs all their mallets on stage all the time and they're willing to lift the bag a few meters from the rehearsal room over to the performance venue. And another way this bag could be used would be something like a classroom situation where maybe the teacher needs to bring mallets for everyone, like 80 or 90 pairs, and they need to put them all inside this bag and keep them neatly stored up in the corner of the classroom or in a storeroom. That would be good. I reckon if you made a smaller version of this bag as a dedicated backpack, still has all these useful pockets, but it's maybe like this big, and call that the Mallet King Light, maybe something like that. I think a lot of people would buy that because it'd be an upright backpack that isn't ridiculously big. And if you do want to keep this size, then ditch the backpack straps, put wheels underneath it, have a telescopic handle, and call this like the Mallet King Max or Mallet King Plus or something. And you can use it as a wheeled luggage. Maybe it won't go on a carry-on, but you could use it to wheel it to all of your venues that you need to use it at, which I think would be so much more practical than this. But yes, I'll leave it to you guys. Let me know down in the comments down below. What do you think of the Mallet King? Would you buy it? Do you think it's still useful even though it's so big? And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much again for all of the support on this channel. Thank you so much to Steve Weiss Music for sending me their product. I think it's a good starting move and I hope that they will continue to make cool mallet bags like this because we need more bags. And if you haven't already, please hit that red subscribe button below to keep up with my uploads. I upload new content on this channel every single week, including things like Let's Watch and reviews of awesome gear like this and all kinds of other stuff. So please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching today's episode and I'll see you guys next week for another episode of The Studio. Good night.